Hi friends, today I'm going to show you how I mix drums, so check it out. Okay, so this is the drums that's recorded, so I'm going to play you the dry signal. The plugins over here are auto align. I use this to phase align the drum set. So the drum set is in phase, so that's all that's in. And I also have a couple of plugins on master here. I have I have a console emulation, and I also have the revival, just to give a bit of thickness. I have an SSL compressor, and I have a tape plugin. So I can take them on and kick them in, and you can listen. So on the mix bus, I have a tape plugin here too, just to take away some of the transients, to make it a bit more rounder, a bit more analog sounding. So you can listen with that. In. And then I have a console, a new console, and I have an EQ. So I have a boost in the top. I have a boost around 3.2 hertz, 1.6. I've done nothing, and I have quite a big boost in 60. This EQ is quite powerful, so it's gonna change the sound a lot. So we can listen when I kick it in. So I really can hear the snare coming out, and also the kick has some bottom end that I really like. And after this, I have revival to give it more in the top and more in the bottom. So let's check that out. And also I have the trim plugin that takes the volume down, because I've boosted a lot of signal here. So I'm taking the volume down. So we can listen with the plugins. Without. So I already changed the sound a lot by doing this. And after this, I have a compressor. 2:5 in ratio. Relatively quick attack on this one, and auto release, and have some drive to get that analog saturation. So then I go over to the overheads. I like to have tape on drums to shape the transient, so it doesn't get that harsh. So you can see I'm not hitting the tape that much. Then I have a preamp. I have the console emulation set to the triad, and I have an EQ. So you can listen to this. These two kick in. Then I have this EQ. I have a boost at 15K to get the air. Also a boost at 7K. I've taken out a lot of 400, and I have quite a lot of boost on 60 to kind of hear some of the kick in the overheads. So let's listen to this. Also I have a low cut at 80. With that. And a neat trick that I just learned with this de-esser, that it also de-essers overheads, and it has a setting here. Overheads, auto high compression. So let's listen to that. So it rounds off the cymbals so they don't get that abrasive. Then I have the room mic. So on the room mic I have a tape machine, and I'm driving that quite a lot. Then I have preamp, I have this console, and on the bit 4K E. On this one I'm taking a bit 400 out and I'm boosting at 100. So gonna kick this in. So it doesn't change the sound that much. So, and I also have this de-esser on the same settings as the overhead. Only to control the hi-hat a bit. And together with the overheads, it sounds like this. Then I usually go back to the kick or to the snare, so I'm going to try the kick this time. With the kick, I also have a tape. So let's try it bypassed and then I'll kick it in. It gives a bit of beef to the kick. And then I have this, I have a console. And it sounds like this. So on this EQ, I boosted a lot in the top. About 361, I boosted almost 5 dB, and this is a lot with this EQ because it's quite aggressive. I've taken out some of the low mids, and also I have a boost at 70. So it's giving it a lot more punch. And then I have this compressor, 1176. This is Slade's modern FG 11.6. So let's try this one. 4 in ratio, slow attack, pretty quick release. So let's try it. Then I have a new EQ. I boosted 10K. And also I have the trimmer to turn the volume down again. So then we go over to the snare. I have one top snare and one bottom snare. So with the snare, I have a bit of boost in the top. I have boosted 4 dB at 7K. And I have boosted 1.6K. And I also have a boost on 80K and a cutoff. So let's kick this in. It really brings out the snare. Then I have a compressor. I have it on the setting snare punch, and then I have adjusted the threshold a bit. So this will make the drum snap more. So let's try this one. And also I have a trimmer to turn it down. So this is the bottom snare. Here I have preamp, I have console emulation, EQ, compressor, and revival. So this is with the preamp and the console. Next is EQ. I have quite a big of a boost of 12K. I have boosted 4K a bit and a lot of 100K to get more fatness of the drum. This EQ is quite gentle, so it might look a lot, but it doesn't change the sound so much. So let's try. I'm gonna kick it in. To just make it kind of beefier. So I have the compressor, 4:1 ratio, slow attack, fast release. Let's try this one. Gonna kick it in. Kind of just controls the transients a bit. Then the revival. So I'm going to try this with the snare. I'm turning off the plugins and I'm going to kick in the EQs. Yeah. Then I go to the snare bus. Here I have the trimmer to turn everything down, and I have a boost in the low end and a boost in the top. So let's try this without. With. So together with the kick and the overhead and the room. So this is what we got now. So then I have a new track here. It's called Snare Warmth. This is a trick I do. So I've copied the top snare to a new track, and it's when it's solo without the plugins, it's like the same snare. Then I have added a gate just to get the transient, not anything else. I've added a tape machine and I've added console, EQ, compression, and more compression. I'm gonna kick this in. You can listen. Now this is just to get some warmth. But if I mute this one, and you can hear the snare bus, I'm gonna kick it in. I really can hear that it works. So you're gonna hear the kick, the snare, you're gonna hear the overhead, and you're gonna hear the room mic. And I'm gonna kick this in. Without. So this really helps with the tone and the attack and the warmth of the snare. Okay, so now we have got the snare warmth and we have done everything here. And when I listen to the drums, I miss something in the kick and the snare. So take a listen. So the kick, I want to be more attack in the kick. And I also want the snare to have more sustain, some kind of room feeling in it. So I have turned to a couple of samples. This is a sample for the kick to get more impact. So together with the kick and with the snare, so this is only to get more of the sound behind the transient. But I have also done an EQ here. So I have a boost in the top and I have boost in the low end. And also a compressor and revival. Let's see. Yeah, I really get what the sound I want. And together with a snare bus, without the sample, yeah, that's something else. And I also done the same with a bass drum kick, the sample. Here I have lifted the high frequencies and the low frequencies. Let's see how that sounds. So let's take everything and listen to what we got. Maybe the snare sample is a bit much. Yeah. And then we have the toms. Okay, so I have got the tape machine on both, so I'm going to turn those up and see how much I hit it. Yeah. So don't hit it too much, just get a bit of that analog feeling. Let's see, I have the console emulation, I have a preamp, and here I haven't turned up the preamp, I'm just using the sound of the saturation it gives. So I'm not driving that hard. With the EQ, I have a boost in the top, boost at 3.2K, and I've taken out a bit of the low mids and have a boost here at 122, and also cut at 42 Hertz. This is aggressive EQ, so this is gonna do a lot of change. And also I have thickness and shimmer on the revival. And I also have a compressor, so let's listen to this. First without. With. And also I've done the same, I just copied this over to the floor tone. And the whole set. And then I just picked up a new trick, and it's amazing. How to get these drums to get the feeling of it's played in a bigger room. So this is the first mix I'm trying this out. I did this on a different way before. I sent the drum bus, I had it send, and then I sent it to a new aux where I put some reverb on to make the whole set work inside a reverb, to give space and depth. And it works pretty well. The trick is you're only sending the overhead and the room to new aux. Nothing else. That sounds just like the overhead and the room. And then I have EQ'd it a bit. And I'm sending it into the reverb. So this is a new reverb from Slate. I'm using the Bricasti Room 2. And I have a better chorus and a bit of width to get it a bit more bigger sounding. And also I have a bit EQ on it. And I have it set to 30%. So listen when I kick this in. So this is making the room sound much bigger. And then I go into compressor. And then we have our friend de-esser once more on the same overhead compression. So let's kick this in. So it's taking care of all the cymbals so they don't ring so much. Now, let's mute this out. And I'm gonna bring it in and you're gonna listen for a change. Check it out. Small room. Big room. Wow, that's a difference. Listen to this. I'm gonna exaggerate it so you really hear what's going on. Okay, so we started out with this. And we got this. put on the percussion and the bass guitar. Taking out the drum space. Kicking it in. So there's no rule in how to mix drums, but this is how I usually mix the drums. So if you like this video, have any comments, please leave them under. And like this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Take care.